It sounds like you're highlighting the challenges that farmers and ranchers face beyond just weather-related issues. Wildlife can indeed pose significant threats to agricultural operations. Wild boars can cause extensive damage to crops, while white-tailed deer often overgraze and damage young plants. Coyotes, on the other hand, can prey on livestock, creating additional stress for ranchers. In areas like Texas and California, where urban development often pushes wildlife into closer contact with agricultural lands, these conflicts can become even more pronounced. Effective management strategies, such as fencing, deterrence, and regulated hunting, are essential for mitigating these impacts. It's alarming to hear how much damage wild boars are causing to farmers in Texas and California. The estimated $1.7 billion AS in 2020 underscores the serious impact of these animals on agriculture. The vegetable production industry, especially in California, has clearly been hit hard, with losses around $650 million. Texas is indeed known for having the largest population of wild boars in the US, and their rapid reproduction makes it a challenge to control their numbers. Female wild boars can start breeding as early as 6 months old, which contributes to the growing population and increased damage to crops and livestock. The reproductive capacity of wild boars is indeed impressive, with females producing 10 to 15 piglets per litter. This high birth rate, combined with their adaptability, contributes to the persistent population levels, despite millions being hunted each year. As you mentioned, states like Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and Southern California also face significant challenges from wild boars, adding to the estimated $2.7 billion in agricultural losses nationwide. Their ability to thrive in various environments, often moving from forested areas to suburban and agricultural lands, makes them particularly problematic. Efforts to manage their populations often include not just hunting but also public awareness campaigns about the impact of wild boars and encouraging landowners to take proactive measures. It's a complex issue, as these animals can disrupt ecosystems while also presenting challenges for farmers and ranchers. Wild boars are indeed a significant concern for agriculture, especially when they discover rich food sources like corn, vegetables, and wheat. The damage they can inflict in just a week is staggering. Imagine losing a substantial portion of your crop to a herd of 25 wild boars. Their ability to hide and cause destruction before farmers even realize they're there makes them particularly challenging to manage. As you mentioned, wild boars are classified as an invasive species in the US and are often unprotected, which allows states to promote hunting and trapping to control their populations. The fact that hunters can harvest millions each year speaks to the scale of the issue, but as you pointed out, their rapid reproductive rates mean that hunting alone often doesn't keep their numbers in check. This creates a cycle where farmers may feel they are always on the defensive. Some areas have turned to more integrated management approaches, combining hunting with fencing, habitat modification, and community education to help mitigate the impact of wild boars. You're right, wild boar populations can be overwhelming for farmers, leading some to leave carcasses behind due to the sheer number they encounter. This adaptation to their environment and the availability of food makes them a persistent problem. Similarly, coyotes are incredibly adaptable and resilient, thriving in a variety of environments across the US, except for Hawaii. Their reproductive strategy, becoming pregnant at about a year old and having a relatively short gestation period, also contributes to their successful population growth. The challenges coyotes pose to ranchers, particularly through predation on livestock, can be severe. Their adaptability allows them to exploit different food sources, making them difficult to manage. Ranchers often have to resort to various strategies, such as guard animals, fencing, and even hunting, to protect their livestock. Coyotes are indeed a significant concern for livestock farmers, especially with their increasing numbers. California's population of around 750,000 coyotes reflects their adaptability and resilience, as they thrive in a variety of environments. Their nocturnal foraging habits often bring them into closer contact with livestock, leading to predation on farm animals. The USDA's statistics on coyote-related livestock losses, about 117,000 animals annually, highlight the serious economic impact these predators can have on agriculture. This predation not only results in direct losses, but can also lead to increased stress and management costs for ranchers. Many ranchers use dogs, such as Great Pyrenees or Anatolian Shepherds, to protect their livestock. These dogs are effective at deterring coyotes and other predators. Proper fencing can help keep coyotes out of pastures and enclosures. Some ranchers invest in specially designed fencing that is more effective against these predators. White-tailed deer indeed represent a significant challenge for U.S. agriculture, often causing more damage than wild boars. With an estimated 36.7 million deer in the country, and whitetails making up about 81% of that population, their impact on crops can be severe, particularly in rural areas where farmland intersects with their natural habitats. Like wild boars, white-tailed deer tend to wander into agricultural fields in search of food. Their browsing can lead to substantial losses, especially for crops like corn and soybeans. Deer are particularly drawn to young plants, which can affect yields and economic viability for farmers. While hunting is a common management strategy, with about 550,000 coyotes killed annually, deer populations are often regulated through seasonal hunting to help mitigate damage. However, because of their high reproductive rate and adaptability, managing white-tailed deer populations can be complex. The economic impact of white-tailed deer on U.S. agriculture is staggering, with USDA estimates putting the cost at around $2.5 billion in 2022. Their role in crop and vegetable losses is significant, contributing to 58% of crop damage and 33% of vegetable losses. Additionally, the safety risks they pose on roads, leading to numerous traffic accidents, adds another layer to the challenges they create for both farmers and the general public. Hunting remains a primary tool for managing whitetail populations, with approximately 6.1 million deer harvested each year, making them the most hunted species in the country. This hunting helps to mitigate some of the damage they cause, although it often feels like a continuous battle for farmers. As for New York, it's interesting to see how it balances urban and agricultural landscapes. While New York City is often the focus due to its size and cultural significance, the state has a rich agricultural sector, particularly in areas like the Hudson Valley and Western New York. These regions are known for dairy farming, apple orchards, vineyards, and various vegetable crops. The interplay between farming and wildlife management in New York is crucial. Farmers there often face challenges from both deer and other wildlife, which can impact their livelihoods. Strategies in New York might include utilizing fencing, community hunting programs, and education on crop protection. New York's agricultural industry is quite robust, with 7.1 million acres dedicated to farming and livestock. The state's emphasis on dairy farming is particularly noteworthy, with over 3,500 dairy farms and around 626,000 dairy cows. The Finger Lakes region, as you mentioned, is a key agricultural hub, contributing significantly to the state's output. Dairy cows require substantial nutrition, typically around 25 to 35 pounds of fresh forage daily. This highlights the importance of pasture management and crop production for dairy farmers. The practice of herding cows to pastures for grazing is beneficial not just for the cow's diet, but also for the overall health of the farm ecosystem. In Wyoming County, the daily routine of taking cows out to pasture reflects traditional dairy farming practices that prioritize animal welfare and sustainable farming. These practices can also help mitigate some wildlife issues, as well-fed cows are less likely to roam or seek out alternative food sources, reducing potential conflicts with deer and other wildlife. The presence of farmers' markets is another important aspect, as they provide local producers a platform to sell their products directly to consumers, fostering a strong farm-to-table culture. This can also help promote awareness about local agriculture and the challenges farmers face, including wildlife interactions. The daily routine of dairy cows on New York farms is vital for maintaining high milk production. After grazing on fresh grass, they return to the farm for additional feeding, which includes roughage and grain. This balanced diet is crucial for their health and milk yield. In the milking process you describe, it's impressive that a dairy farm can handle around 800 cows in just 3.5 hours. Each cow producing between 6 to 8 gallons of milk daily contributes significantly to the overall dairy output. Efficient milking operations are essential for maximizing productivity and ensuring animal welfare. After milking, the milk is typically stored in refrigerated tanks to maintain freshness before being transported to processing facilities. Innovations in milking technology, such as automated systems and improved cow monitoring, are becoming more common in the industry, enhancing efficiency and animal care. In addition to the technical aspects of milking, farmers often focus on sustainable practices, such as managing manure for fertilization and implementing crop rotation to improve soil health. These practices not only help in reducing environmental impacts, but also create a more resilient agricultural system. It's remarkable that New York produces about 15.7 billion pounds of milk each year, making it the fourth largest milk-producing state in the U.S. The dairy industry not only contributes significantly to the state's economy, but also supports around 27,000 jobs, highlighting its importance to local communities and the agricultural sector. Transitioning to the duck egg farm in the Genesee district sounds intriguing. With over 400 ducks, the egg harvesting process must be quite fascinating. Duck eggs are becoming increasingly popular for their rich flavor and nutritional profile, often sought after by chefs and health-conscious consumers. The process typically involves collecting eggs daily to ensure freshness. Duck hens usually lay eggs with a slightly thicker shell and a richer yolk compared to chicken eggs, making them a unique product in the market. Additionally, the care and management of ducks can differ from other poultry, as they require access to water for swimming and proper nutrition to ensure healthy egg production. It's impressive to hear that New York has about 87 active duck farms with around 1.3 million ducks, primarily raised for egg production. The ability of each duck to lay between 215 and 240 eggs per year contributes significantly to the overall supply of duck eggs in the market. Duck eggs are valued for their nutritional content and flavor, making them popular among various culinary applications. They tend to have a richer taste and higher fat content compared to chicken eggs, which can enhance dishes like baked goods and custards. In 2021, the overall production of duck eggs in the U.S. was estimated at 31.3 million, indicating a solid demand for this niche market. Duck farming practices often focus on providing a nutritious diet and ensuring the ducks have ample space and access to water for optimal health and egg production. If there are specific practices or innovations at the duck farm you're visiting, such as feeding regimens, housing systems, or sustainable farming techniques, those could be fascinating to explore further. It's fascinating to see how corn farming plays a significant role in New York's agricultural landscape. With about 1.1 million acres planted annually, New York ranks 17th in the nation for corn acreage. While sweet corn tends to be more popular in states like Florida and California, New York focuses primarily on grain and silage production, which is essential for feeding livestock. Corn silage, in particular, is a valuable product for dairy and beef operations, providing a nutritious feed source. The annual sales of corn silage in New York, around $313 million, highlight its economic importance in supporting the state's livestock industries. As you explore the cornfield and the harvesting process, you'll likely see various equipment and techniques used to ensure a successful harvest. Modern harvesting methods, such as combine harvesters, have significantly improved efficiency and yield. If you come across any interesting practices in corn production, such as crop rotation, soil health management, or innovative harvesting techniques, those could provide valuable insights into how farmers in New York are adapting to agricultural challenges. New York's prominence in apple production is impressive, making it the second largest apple growing state in the U.S. after Washington. With around 700 apple farms and an annual harvest of approximately 613,000 tons, apples are a crucial part of the state's agricultural identity. The diverse climate and rich soiling regions at the Hudson Valley and western New York provide ideal conditions for growing a variety of apple cultivars. Farmers often engage in practices such as integrated pest management and sustainable farming techniques to ensure healthy crops while minimizing environmental impact. As you visit the farm in the Boston Lake area, you'll likely see various stages of apple production, from planting and tending to the trees to harvesting and packing the fruit. Many apple farms also incorporate agritourism, offering pick-your-own experiences, which help engage the community and promote local agriculture.